19, precisamente sobre la capital de Cuba.
Mira, esto es como un extraterrestre, algo así.
So before I get this lesson started, let me give all praises and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakakodash, and double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned this truth from, and a shalom to the hopefully elect, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the hopefully elect into the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is your brother Wadah with a short lesson on the chariots, Yahawah of hosts, the Lord of armies, and what the so-called UFOs actually are according to scriptures, and how Esau, the so-called white man, America and Christianity, Western Renaissance Christianity, has lied to us about this functionality of heaven, of the rulership of Yahawah B'Hashem Yahawashi, and what these actual vehicles are, and the persons or the individuals that are operating them and what they're doing. And there's so much scripture to back this up. What you're seeing here,
que se mantiene levitando a baja altura sobre una localidad de La Habana, la tarde del pasado 8 de julio del año 2019. En la parte inferior del objeto se observa una especie de energía antigravitacional que realiza rotaciones bajo su propio eje, mientras se encuentra suspendido sobre la localidad de Cerro La Habana, ante la mirada de varios testigos.
so-called wings. There's a supernatural, look at that. That is a supernatural vessel. You have a physical appearance of a chariot coming from one dimension to the next. You have its sword drawn. That's its sword. It's not, I mean, you could call it a protective shield, but from what? What on earth can hurt that thing? That's its sword drawn. And inside of this chariot is what is called an Alahayim, a power, an actual a host, what's called an angel, and he's inside of this machine or this vehicle, and his spirit is what is powering it. And that's his sword drawn. There's even, I think there's two precepts, I'm going to pull them, that calls the angels hornets and wasps. I'm gonna try to, let me see if I can pull that up right now. So look, so I'm gonna go to let's pull, and so let me see. Hornets, and I will send hornets before thee. So this is the Most High, right? Speaking to the children of Israel as they're coming out of Egypt, and they're going and they're conquering the land. This is one of his statements, and I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. So what was this? What were those hornets? These were supernaturally going in front of the children of Israel. This is why whenever the children of Israel were in obedience to the Most High, it didn't matter how many people they were facing. It didn't matter how big the guys were. It didn't matter what kind of weapons they had. In the spirit realm, the hedge of protection, the angels that encamp those who fear Yahawah, this is what was around them. This is what Elijah opened his, when the Bible says Elijah opened up the servant's eyes, and this is what he saw, the chariots of fire. Let me see if I can get that. I'm just going to keep going back and forth, showing you that this is what this is. Let me see. I think it was Elijah. Elijah opens his servant's eyes. Let's see if this pulls it up. Those who are with us are more. Okay, so yeah, so this is 2 Kings. And you guys got to remember, this is in the ancient world, man. This is thousands of years ago, when the highest form of technology that we knew was what? Fire, wind, sails, and ships, and the horse and the buggy, right? That's about as much as we had, correct? I mean, and there's debates on whether we had more technology than that, by how the pyramids were built and all that stuff. I don't want to get into that, but this is a long time ago. So 2 Kings 6:17 says, and Elijah prayed and said, Yahawah, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And Yahawah opened his eyes. He opened the eyes of the young man and saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elijah. This is what he saw. He saw stuff like this. Now I'm going to pause the video really quick. I'm going to pull up a couple other videos showing you the manifestation of these chariots in different places of the earth. Hold on really quick. Hold on. So here you have it, Jake, an Israelite, an awakened. He sounds like he's a member of GMS, or at least someone who acknowledges the elders, right? Listen to what he's saying.
Allah, Yahawashi,
he knows the correct name.
Just pulled up, man. Yahawashi outside just sent the angel down here, man. All you niggas that scoffing and don't think this shit is real, nigga, this shit is real, nigga. That ain't no cloud, nigga. But the scriptures identify it as a cloud because it's disguising itself as a cloud. It's in the clouds. And above it is the moon, and that's the angel right there. And the lights, you can see the lights around it. You can see the lights around the saucer. This is a flying saucer. The wheel in the middle of a wheel spoken about in Ezekiel, man. This shit is real life. This is real life, nigga. These are the gods. These are the gods, and these are the vehicles coming to deliver the elect. Nigga, this in the flesh. Live footage, bro. This real footage, bro. This ain't nothing from nobody else. This is from one of the Akim, me, Gabar Shalom. I ain't showing you, bro. These angels is real, bro. Look at the lights around it. And the lights is illuminating, right? Off of the vehicle, bro. Look at it. You can tell that's a vehicle. Look at it. Look at it, bro. What else is it? Can't make this shit up. And if you try to find some other explanation for what you seeing right now, then your ass is dumb and y'all about to I got you blind, man. We almost out of here, bro. I ain't never seen no chariot that big. I'm seeing one flying over my head, but I ain't never seen one that big, bro.
Remember when he said Yahawashi has you blind? Did not Elijah have to pray for the servant's eyes to be made opened? It lines up.
Right now, it's in the earth right now, bro. It ain't in the stars or above the firmament, bro. It's here, bro. It's in here, bro. It's in the earth, bro. Look how low it is to the fucking earth, bro. Look how low it is. All right, the Wadi Yahawashi Yahawashi. Then I'll put my hand over the camera just a tad bit to block the light from this goddamn thingamajig. Look, that's the clouds and shit. Look at that, man. Get another angle here. Look at it, man, just chilling. And the lights glowing off of it, man, around the vehicle, bro. It's the lights around the vehicle, man. And there's people next to me out here, bro. They don't even notice this shit. Right? The heathen are dismayed at the signs of heaven, man. Alright? These are the vehicles that's coming to destroy America, Babylon, and Greek. This ain't no fucking hologram. This ain't the so-called white man. Nigga, this Yahawashi Yahawashi. Yahawashi Yahawashi sent one of them down here. They're watching the earth, man.
So you see him going in precept upon precept in order. He's saying it correctly. He was speaking everything according to sound doctrine, and we all know, those of us who know the truth, we know what he's saying. Now, I'm going to get that precept in second, I believe is it in second Ezra? No, it's in Wisdom of Solomon. The strangeness of our salvation, the strangeness of our salvation, because the world, the Christian world, it should be, yep, there it is. It should be, so the Christian world understands, or should I say they misunderstand, salvation to be based on what Renaissance Western Christianity teaches salvation to be. And that is, if you give your life to white Jesus, if you confess with your mouth white Jesus, that you are saved at that moment, and that you, if and when you die, you don't go burn in hell forever off planet in another dimension. That is what salvation is taught to be in Edomite, white, Western American patriotic Christianity, and that is not biblical. Every time and any time salvation was mentioned in Scripture concerning the Hebrew Israelites, it always had to do with Yahawah of hosts, or Yahawah of hosts sending an anointed judge to deliver the Hebrew Israelites from captivity, aka slavery, to another nation a heathen nation, an uncircumcised nation. That has always been the definition of what salvation is. It's not being delivered from burning in hell burning in a dimension of fire off planet forever. Also, the understanding of reincarnation was amongst our people in the ancient world, so we understood that under the place of the sun, as mentioned in Ecclesiastes, written by King Solomon, the great king, that the place under the sun is where judgment takes place, not off planet. So the earth is the place of judgment. That's where you receive judgment. And hell either means the grave or a very, very horrible condition on the earth, and being held captive, slavery, to another nation for 10 years, 15 years, 7 years, or 40 years is an extremely hellish situation on earth, to be under the control or rulership of another race of people that doesn't serve your God or eat your diet or follow your laws. That's a horrible. So here we see in Wisdom of Solomon, and this is in the Apocrypha, the 14 books that was removed from the original King James Version Bible from the Bible Destruction Group, a group of Edomites who had to remove the Apocrypha because the Apocrypha in 1st and 2nd Maccabees describes how the Israelite foreigners were forced to become Gentiles, which then explains who the Gentiles that are being spoken about in the New Testament actually are. It's not talking about the heathen. It's talking about the Israelite foreigners that had been scattered and cut off from Israel, and that's who Yahawashi came to restore. It also goes into who Esau is when it talks about the eagle in 2nd Esdras, and it also describes the authenticity of the ethnicity of the scriptures, the exclusiveness of the ethnicity of the focus of Yahawah B'Hashem, Yahawashi's love for Israel, separate from all the other 18 nations. Okay, so and you get a major description of Yahawashi's chariot and the size of it, and a very, very visual, and we're going to go into a description of Yahawashi's destruction of the armies of Esau and the world, the kings of the nation, which is described in the book of Daniel and Revelations. You get a more visual description of those two prophecies in the 13th chapter of 2nd Ezra. So they had to take it out because you can't have Western Renaissance Christianity with the Apocrypha in the Bible because there's too many contradictions. Somebody's lying. So here we have Wisdom of Solomon, verse 5:2. When they see it, talking about what? The what's called the rapture, the beaming up, the four corners of the earth, the scattered Israelites, the elect of Israel, the 1/3 being saved from Jacob's trouble, they're going to be getting beamed up into these chariots. So hold on, let me go back one. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon 5. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. This is two groups of people. This is two nations. This is Esau, Edom, and the heathen nations who agree with his bullshit. And this is the elect of Israel. This is your Revelations chapter 11, verse 11. Let's get it real quick, and then we're going to come right back. This is Ezekiel 37. This is Revelations 11:11. So look what happens. We get after 3.5 days, talking about 350 years, we come into the understanding of who we are. And after 3 days and a half, this is talking about 350 years of slavery in America, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, who? The Israelites, both northern and southern kingdom, Latino, Native American, so-called blacks, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Why? Because the people who see this happening understand the lies they've told. They understand the money they have spent to redo everything, to iconoclasm everything, to whitewash everything. Job chapter 9 and 24. For the earth, let's get that. For the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. the earth, and the earth is given, and they changed up the whole story. Once they got into a position of power, so you see it, Job 9:24, for the earth is, let's just pull it, let's see if I can, the earth, I don't like the message, let me see, let's try this one. So the earth, you see it, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and from that position of them being given the earth, he covers the faces of the judges thereof. Who are the judges? The Most High, his Son, the host in those chariots, the angels, and the Israelites. If not, where and who is he? It all fits together like a puzzle. Let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon 5. Wisdom. I don't want to. Strangeness of salvation. Boom. Okay, so here we are. So all this, the reason why we have to precept everything is because it proves history, it proves the lies, it proves the covering cast over the nations. So we're going to go here. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness, talking about the Israelites standing up now, before the face of such as afflicted him. And that's what you see every Saturday. That's what you see on Thursdays. That's what you see on Sundays, on Mondays. Whenever you see the Israelites gather together in front of a camera on the street corners, chanting down, speaking this new song, the 100% truth, identifying who Esau Edom is, identifying who the true Hebrew Israelites are, completely speaking contrary to everything Esau has put in the world as truth. We're chanting down Mystery Babylon, America, and declaring prophecy on what's going to happen to this nation and how can we be saved. Salvation for us has always meant us being delivered from the rulership of a heathen nation, involving the angels, involving a supernatural wind, a supernatural involvement. And these so-called UFOs are the military force. They are the armies of Yahawah. One of his names is Yahawah of hosts, and the definition or the breakdown of the name host is armies, and he has them on his right hand side and on his left hand side. The holy righteous hosts, the holy righteous angels have chariot vehicles that they fly and operate in, and the wicked evil hosts on the left hand side also have chariots and vehicles that they operate in, and both sides carry out the will of Yahawah on the earth. They're not fighting each other. There's no rebellion in heaven. The left-hand side is not fighting the right-hand side for rulership. It's a misinterpretation of what the war in heaven is, and that's coming in the future. And we're going to try to cover that in this lesson. Okay, but the left-handed evil, wicked hosts, they carry out the left-handed expression of Yahawah. They're in perfect obedience to the Most High. And there's no disruption between the right hand and the left hand. In fact, they both speak together. They present decrees, if you would. They present presentations before Yahawah when he asks a question about kings and nations and situations in the earth. And he's not asking questions like he doesn't know. He's getting the host involved. When he asks a question, then they bring forth an answer or a strategy, and he sanctions one of the strategies. We see it. We see this in the book of Job, and I believe it's in 2nd or 1st Kings. So let's get back in. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting all over the place, but there's a lot of information to cover this. We're not just here to say, hey, we believe that the UFOs are angels. No, there's precepts that prove all this stuff, man. And you have to have the Spirit, or you have to be listening to men who have the Spirit and give them a chance to show you these things where you can be like, damn, wait a minute. All these precepts upon precepts, line upon line, here a little, there a little, about these chariots called clouds, called armies. It lines up with everything that we are seeing in the sky right now with these chariots, and it makes sense that Esau would lie about this stuff, and the scripture said that he would do that too. So once you see all this stuff, man, you have no excuse not to believe. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. There you go. Reparations. Oh, get over it. Slavery wasn't that bad. Everybody's been slaves. You guys are just making, you're playing the victim role. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Work harder. You got to be 10 times better than everybody. You got to develop a white voice. You got to speak. You got to have a code, or what do they call it? You got to have your white voice to get along in corporate America. It just goes on and on. The truth is, these people are wicked. All right. So they're the oppressors. And this is, here you go. When they shall see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of the salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. This is how they think of us. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves. This is going to be their inward thought. This was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. The niggas, the spicks, and the engines. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. We thought they were always going to be poor and dusty and broken nobodies. We always thought they were going to stay under our feet forever. No. How is he numbered among the children of God, and his lot with amongst the saints? And this is going into right here. Come up hither. It's in Revelations. Come up. It's in, I believe it's in Revelations 11. So it's the very next verse after 11:11. So in verse 11, you see, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the power entered into them. Now, this is a period of time. This is decades. These lines that you're reading right here, these are decades. This is from like 1969 to the present and a little bit more into the future. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the power entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And while this is happening, what's happening? We're repenting. We're learning the doctrine. We're coming out of the name of Jesus and Allah, and we're learning Yahawashi. We're learning Yahawah. We're learning the new song mentioned in Revelations 14, right? How are we doing this? We're listening to the apostles. We're listening to the elders and the prophets. We're coming in. We're listening to the pastors that the Most High said he would give us, that would teach us according to his heart with knowledge and understanding. We're hearing the voice in the way saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. We're casting down our idols as filthy rags. We're coming out of the Babylonian doctrines of Mystery Babylon, and we're learning the heritage. We're learning the new song. Okay, this is how this is going down. And then the very next one. Then what happens? Jacob's trouble takes place. The mark of the beast is implemented. America collapses. We go into the depths of what it's talking about with Second Esdras 16 and 15. People are dying. People are starving. Chaos is taking place all over. Some of us are being martyred. Yes, some of the elect are going to be martyred, but the majority of us, with the mark of exemption on their foreheads, the Yahawah, it's going to be known who are the servants of the Lord. Women are going to be humbled. Women are going to die. Then the whole 7 women and 1 man, all that stuff starts taking place. I will make a man is as profitable or as valuable as the gold of Ophir, a man of the Lord, a prophet. Everything's going to shift, and then Revelations 12 starts taking place all over the earth, and they are seeing it from their satellites and their video cameras. This is right before the missiles hit, okay? And they heard a great voice from heaven saying, come unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up into heaven in the cloud. What's the cloud? This is the cloud. These are the clouds. Oops, let me pull this back up. These are the clouds, you guys. Let me see. Salakia. I'm trying not to. I don't want to turn off the camera. Hold on, okay? Because this is stopping. This is stuck. I'll be right back. Okay, what are the clouds? These are the clouds. These are the clouds. These are the clouds. Look, I want to pull up another one. Because I got some documented and some more. Let me see. Okay. That's a cloud, you guys. What this gentleman was talking about, this Israelite man who knows the truth. He sounds like he's in GMS. That's a cloud. It's in the clouds. And you got to remember, the Most High and His Son, they're Jakes. And what are Jakes known for? Their ability to be creative with language, lyrics, poetry, slang words. And the proof is what? Every time we come up with a new slang word, everybody else copycats it, man. Our power speaks the same way in the scriptures. It's called dark sayings. It's called the riddles, the mysteries. But that's how he speaks. That's a cloud right there, you guys. I'm going to pull up another one. Let's see. Look at this. Look at that. You can see it. That is a cloud, meaning that is a chariot. You can see the sharp edge of it. That's not that is a cloaked chariot. Look at the precept, Psalms 104:3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers, and the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariots. Now I don't got to pull up that precept. And see, now he just disappeared, and now you can barely see him. He's cloaking himself. That's just how they get down, man. That's what it is. Esau doesn't want to admit their power, man. They don't want to admit it. And look at this one. There's another one. That's another one, man. That is not a normal cloud. And see, this is what we were following when we came out of Egypt. I'm going to get that. I believe it's in Exodus 14. I'm going to pull it up. This is what was a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. We're going to get it. Look, we're going to get it. This is AI. But so we're going to get that. So let's pull up Genesis. A cloud. Let me see. A cloud of fire. Let me see. Okay, so this is us coming out, right? This is us being let out of Egypt. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. And you guys remember how long it took us to come out of Egypt? Once Pharaoh's armies were destroyed, what happened? We went to spy the land with 12 spies, right? Caleb and Joshua, and there was 10 others. And we went to spy out the land, and 10 of the men were scared. And this is after Yahawah did what he did to Pharaoh's army with the clouds, right? So 10 of the men were scared, bro. And Caleb and Joshua said, no, we could take the land. So what happened? As punishment, we got punished for 40 years, a year. It's something like 4 years or something like that, a year for each or something like that. So it turned into 40 years where we had to go around the mountain for 40 years. Well, what happened? The cloud led us around for 40 years. We were following the cloud. Clouds don't stay in the sky for 40 years, you guys. They dissipate. They evaporate. What is a cloud doing glowing at night and then shading us from the sun in the daytime? And it would post, it would stop. And then as the cloud would move, we would pick up camp and follow it. And then when the cloud would stop, we would set up camp. We did that for 40 years. Okay, we did that with one of these. Bro, I hate this freaking app. Every time you leave it, it wants to reset. Come on, man. So we were following one of these for 40 years as we were coming out of Israel. As we were coming out of Egypt. That's a chariot. That's a UFO, man. It's a military vehicle of heaven. And they're faithful only to the Israelites. Now they do orchestrate and guide the minds of the kings of the earth to fulfill the will of the power of the Most High throughout the earth, but they are specifically only in defense of us because we are the wife of the Most High. And part of the desolation mentioned in, I believe, in Isaiah 61, if you go into the gospel, the definition of the gospel of Isaiah 61, part of the desolation. Let's just do that really quick so I can get to Isaiah 61. So look, let's read. This is the gospel. This is the precept. This is the chapter that Yahawashi read right before he started his ministry, and it defines what the actual gospel is. I'm going to read it real fast. The Spirit of the Lord Yahawah is upon me, because Yahawah hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. These are all specific to us. It's got nothing to do with Edomites being addicted to opium or to opiates in America that have Christian parents that are trying to pray to white Jesus to get their son to be sober. No, because why? Because we also know that the curses are coming out upon our enemies. And the same curses that were on us are now going on to them. And the things they did to us are now happening to them. They purposely put crack cocaine into our neighborhoods in the 80s to lock us up. They did that. And now, what did the Most High say? I will curse those who curse you. So you got to be able to break these precepts down and say, no, it doesn't mean that. It means this. We're the ones that are in their prison houses, where the 13th Amendment was written specifically to enslave us. No man shall be a slave except by reasoning of a crime. Well, when was that written? It was written in the 1800s, when we were also not allowed to defend ourselves against our enemies, which are the Edomites, the so-called white men, in court. So they were able to arrest us left and right after slavery for just walking down the street, the loitering laws they made, or not being able to prove that we had a job when we just got done working for 3,500 years for free. You got to be able to show this stuff. Verse 2. To proclaim the acceptable year of Yahawah and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. Look at 3. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion. Zion is specific. That is a seed line. It is a sperm line of people. That is the rulership of Israel. That is the city of David. That's the temple. That's the name of Yahawah in the temple. That's the living stones. That's Yahawashi, the cornerstone. That's Tazayawan, the memorial. That's all of the labors, the great labors that Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, has done with the children of Israel from the beginning all the way up until now. With great labor have I perfected my plant. Got nothing to do with anybody else. To give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahawah, that he might be glorified, because he's going to put the laws and statutes and commandments into our hearts. And they shall build the old waste places. They shall raise up the former desolations. That's what I want to pull up. Isaiah 61:4 in the blue letter. I don't know if it's this particular precept, but I do remember doing a study on the desolations. Isaiah 61, and desolations goes into a husband that is withholding like the things that a husband does for his wife, which is what? The divorce. We were divorced. Why? Because of our adulteries. So this specifically identifies what Yahawashi in his blood is coming to restore. There's only one nation that was the wife of the Most High. And there's only one nation that committed the adultery against Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi. And there's only one nation that the blood of Yahawashi comes to restore that specific, very bad trauma wound that we did to the Most High. That is a major blow to a man's ego, to his heart, is for his wife to be sleeping with another man. Let me see. To be desolate, be appalled, stunned, stupefied, to be desolated, to be deflowered, to be deserted, be appalled, to be awestruck, to be desolated, be made desolate, to be appalled, to be stunned, appalling, causing horror causer, appaller, to devastate, ravage, make desolate, to show horror, to lay desolate, be desolate, to cause, to be desolate, to be appalled, to cause oneself this. So this is not the right one. There's another one. Let me see. Desolation's desolate. Let me do this. Let me see if I can. Because it has to do, you see it and you're like, oh wow, desolate. Am I? Okay. I gotta pick the right one. I want to show it to you guys because I read it and I was like, holy shit. This has to do with marriage being restored. And there's only one. Let me see. I'm just gonna have to wing it. Look how many times it's mentioned. But I remember I didn't take a photo of it, but when I read it, I was like, holy crap, man, it goes into divorce. It goes into it goes into a husband let me see, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. Okay, so look. So let me see if this is it. So Yahawashi, look what he's saying. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. So he's quoting first, second Ezra, right? And that's another thing too. When you see Yahawashi quoting Ezra, second or third Ezra, it also proves that the Apocrypha is okay. Look at it, solitary loneliness. Okay, there it is. This is it. I believe this is it. Okay, look at this last one. A woman neglected by her husband, from whom the husband withholds himself. Well, what is Yahawah of hosts? Do you see it? So this is Yahawashi declaring, behold, your house is left unto you desolate. And what's he doing? He's quoting, is it first, second Ezra's, first Ezra? Let me see if I can. Oh, it's in the, okay. Ezra's, let me see. Ezra's, as a hen gathers her chicks. Let me see if that pulls it up. Boom. Second Ezra's 1:3. Okay, so this is Yahawashi quoting. He's quoting the Apocrypha. Let's go back and see if we can, because it's a bunch. It's not just verse 30. Let me see. This is okay. So second Ezra's, verse 1, 26. Whensoever ye shall call upon me, I will not hear you. Because he's going to withhold himself from us. Why? Because we have committed adultery. For ye have defiled your hands with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter. Ye have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Almighty Lord, have I not prayed you as a father his son, or as a mother her daughter, or a nurse her young babes, that you would be my people, and I should be your power, that you would be my children, and I should be your father? I gathered you together, as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. But now what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. When ye offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. For your solemn feast days, your new moons, and your circumcisions have I forsaken. I sent unto you my servants, the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Almighty Lord, your house is desolate. I will cast you out as the wind doth stubble, and your children shall not be fruitful, for they have despised my commandment and done the thing that is an evil before me. Your house will I give to a people that shall come, which not having heard of me shall believe me. And that's talking about us in the future as Gentiles. We will forget who we are and will be restored as strangers. Now you see this, right? Now you see all this. You see Yahawashi saying this. Desolation. We understand now that the definition is a husband withholding himself. Well, Yahawah of hosts, that's a benefit, right? Look at the definitions of desolate: solitary, lonely, desolate, uninhabited, used of places, a desert, wilderness, deserted places, lonely regions, and uncultivated region fit for a path. No, so there's no husbandry. He's not pruning us. He's not watering us. He's not seeding us. He's not. We're completely left to grow over with weeds and to be ravished, right? Used of persons, deserted by others, deprived of the aid and protection of others. That's the hedge. The angels encampeth those who fear the name of Yahawah, especially of friends, acquaintances, kindreds. We're family, right? Of a flock deserted by the shepherd. Of a woman neglected by her husband. We had to be divorced, from whom the husband withholds himself. So now we go back to these chariots, right? The host of heaven, the host of Yahawah, and this is what has not been protecting us. We have not had these men, this protection, this army of our husband protecting us. Why? Because we've been desolate for a long time. And the whole time we've been desolate, who's been lying about these guys? The guards of our husband, the guards, the guardianship of our household. What is really only for us, the wife of Yahawah, because we committed adultery and we had to be punished. We had to go into slavery. So then Esau comes into power, and what does he do? He lies about Yahawah, changes his name to Jehovah. He lies about Yahawashi, changes his name to Jesus, changes his color, and then he lies about the chariots. He lies about the host of Yahawah and says there's some goofy looking ugly creatures from another planet when they're from this planet. They're from the Most High's throne, and they're here to protect the wife that's being reestablished to Yahawah through the blood of Yahawashi. That's what's happening. This is the disclosure that needs to be disclosed. That's what's happening. Now let's get some. Let me see if I can get some Hollywood clips without doing any. I don't want no copyright. So let's just do some real quick things. Look at Close Encounters. And we're just going to get pictures. These movies, okay? These movies have accused and blasphemed what the chariots actually are, without understanding all of the precepts, the prophecies, and the histories of the true Hebrew Israelites, the marriage, the husbandship, Yahawah of hosts, him divorcing us and removing his protections and provisions from us. All of these, see, this is what Esau has been able to fill the earth with. This is in the minds of everybody. And anytime you see a chariot, anytime you see technology in space, you do one of two things. You only associate it with an alien, or you associate it with Edomites. Only those two groups of people can have spaceships. Images only. See, only this is and what they're doing is they're stealing, they're perverting, they're blaspheming the inheritance of the Hebrew Israelites, which is the comely woman, right? I've likened the daughter of Zion to a comely woman. We are the wife of the Most High Yahawah. We did commit adultery, and then now look. This is the blasphemy. So when you see this guy, you always see an Edomite. What do you see? What's the common clothing? You always see him in a robe from 2,000 years ago. He's always wearing clothing from 2,000 years ago. So the image of his clothing is always back 2,000 years ago. He's always an Edomite man with long hair, effeminate, right? So you have this. Let me see. I'm proving a point here. So this is what you see. You always see a fucking long-haired Edomite man wearing clothing from 2,000 years ago, right? And then if and when you do see chariots, when you do see chariots, what do you see? You see futuristic clothing right? But it's separated from Yahawashi, and you can't put them together for multiple reasons. You associate the Bible with 2,000 years ago, a long time ago, no technology, walking around in the dust, and then you associate the chariots with today, futuristic technology. Let me see. And so when someone tells you that the chariots are actually the armies of heaven and Yahawashi commands them, you have a hard time believing it because you're so full of this. And if you just go right into, look at this, and I'll end the lesson. 2nd Ezra 13. Look at this. We're gonna read it. It's a long chapter. I believe is it the 13 or 11? Thus saith the Lord, I brought this people out of bondage, and I gave them my commandments and my servants, the prophets. Hold on really quick. No, it's 11. It's 11. Yep. Wait. Yep. Salakia. I'm sorry. It's 11. So look at this. So this is a very, I remember when I first read the Apocrypha, it was somewhere in between the months of January, February of 2020. It was about 6 to 7 months after I woke up. And I was watching these guys and they kept reading from the Apocrypha, and I was like, let me try this out. So I got the Apocrypha. I remember when I got to this chapter, the very first thing I thought of was Revelations. I believe it's Revelations chapter 12, or the precept in Revelations where it says he's got a short two-edged sword coming out of his mouth, and he's on a white horse, and he's got his name on his thigh. I instantly thought, oh my God, this is that, but way more detail. And in reading this, it scared the shit out of me, because it was the beginning stages of me seeing Yahawah. And I was still calling him by the J word back then. I was still calling him by the Caesar Borgia name back then, but it completely began to renew the way I viewed him, because I was like, whoa, this is him using his power. Now look at this. Verse 1, then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea. It's talking about the firmament in the sky. An eagle. Oh, wait, no, this is wait a minute. This is my bad. Hold on. Salakia. Yeah, it was 13. My bad. So I'm, again, Salakia. 2nd Ezra 13 goes into Yahawashi on his chariot. Look at this. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I behold, and lo, the man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Right here, verse 1, and it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, verse 2, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. That is this. You're seeing this. This is what you're seeing. Oh man, come on. This is what you're seeing. You're seeing the sea is the sky, the dimension, the firmament, and see how that just like opened up a door and it just appeared. Now imagine this, but the size of the state of Texas. Imagine imagine seeing something like this, but like the state of Texas, because that's how big Yahawashi's ship is going to be. It's going to be that massive. It's going to be massive. A father ship. And there's a portal that's going to open. And there's going to be a lot of wind. And he's going to have a whole bunch of ships like this flying around him. Just try to get your mind around that. It's going to be a devastating scene. Just imagine thousands of these just in unison with a massive ship the size of Texas. That's what verse 11, that's what chapter 11 is describing. It's talking about the war in heaven, the destruction of the armies. I believe it's Daniel chapter 2, the rock that was cut without hands, hitting the feet of the statue. It's all of that. It's Yahawashi coming back on the white horse with the double-edged sword in his mouth. It's all of that. It's Isaiah 63, 1 through 4, coming from Edom with his clothes dyed. It's 2nd Ezra 6:9. the end of the Esau's world and the beginning of Jacob. It's all of those, man. Whoo! It's him coming back pissed off with anger in his heart. And it came to pass, and I'm going to stop with this. And it came to pass after 7 days, I learned a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I behold, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea, talking about the sky. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region, the beginning, the border of the place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. You could also say this is Mount Zion, or it represents Zion. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. This is Armageddon. This is the war in heaven. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon the sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. It goes into detail. I strongly suggest that you read it, but that's what he saw, just way bigger. And we're going to do this. Look at this. What is it? War of the Worlds. Let me see. Images. Let me see, because I don't want to get copywritten. Remember when he was running and people were getting vaporized in front of him? This is where this scene is where they got it from the Apocrypha, you guys. Everything Esau does, he gets from the scriptures, man. He gets it from the scriptures, bro. I don't want to do the video because they'll give me a copyright. But remember when he was running and that lady got vaporized right in front of him, and then all that bone dust. And then right here, he's talking to his kids. He's got all that bone dust on his face. They got it from the Apocrypha that they took out of the scriptures. So this race of people have been lying to us this whole time about the chariots, about the true names of Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, about the true identity of the Hebrew Israelites. They've been lying to us about everything. So, and there's no way Esau can fight this. This is just one angel in a chariot with a sword drawn. That's a sword drawn. That's a drawn sword. He can hear everything that's being said. He can read everybody's mind. He's 10 light years ahead of any type of movement. And if he decides to choose to open his mouth to give a command, that glowing, swirling thing will let out a laser beam and evaporate whoever it hits. And nothing you shoot back at him is going to touch him. It's not going to hurt him. Dude, Esau is through, man. I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. And I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, of whom I have been so thankful to learn this truth from. And a shalom to the hopeful elect, inviting the rest of the elect to the marriage supper of the Lamb, Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.